The quantum resonance chamber stood silent in the heart of the Velcor research station, a monument to failure wrapped in crystalline walls. For 10 standard cycles, the greatest minds of the Galactic Engineering Collective had struggled with the massive device, their tentacles, appendages, and neural interfaces working in desperate harmony to solve an impossible puzzle. Una pressed her face against the observation window, her breath fogging the reinforced glass. That's it? That's the thing that's supposed to revolutionize faster-than-light travel? Was supposed to, Quinn corrected, leaning against the wall with his arms crossed. His maintenance jumpsuit bore the insignia of the Human Engineering Corps, still a novelty in this corner of the galaxy. Past tense, it worked exactly once, 11 years ago. Been dead ever since. The chamber itself was beautiful in its complexity. A sphere of interwoven energy conduits and gravitational stabilizers, suspended in a void of artificial vacuum. Alien script covered every surface, equations that would take human mathematicians decades to fully comprehend. Around it, the Velcor engineers moved with the careful precision of surgeons, their work methodical and reverent. "The humans are here," announced Tharxis, the lead Velcor engineer. His translator implant gave his voice a metallic quality that Una found oddly soothing. 3 of his 6 eyes swiveled to regard them with what might have been curiosity or disdain. She still couldn't tell the difference. "We were told you might offer a fresh perspective," Tharxis continued, his tone suggesting he believed no such thing. "Though I confess, I cannot fathom what 2 maintenance technicians might contribute that our finest minds have not already considered." Quinn smiled, the kind of easy grin that Una knew preceded either brilliance or catastrophe. "Mind if we take a look at your documentation?" What followed was 6 hours of the most tedious technical reading Una had ever endured. Velcor engineering logs made human technical manuals look like children's picture books. Every action was documented with excruciating detail, every hypothesis tested and retested, every variable accounted for with mathematical precision. "They've replaced the primary field generator 4 times, Una muttered, scrolling through another 1,000 pages of diagnostic data. "Recalibrated the quantum stabilizers 97 times. Rebuilt the entire energy distribution network twice." "They've tried everything," Quinn agreed, his eyes scanning line after line of alien text. "Except—" He trailed off, and Una looked up to find him staring at the chamber with an expression she recognized. It was the same look he'd had right before he'd fixed the captain's personal shuttle by checking if the fuel tank was actually full, despite 3 diagnostic computers insisting it was the navigation system. "Oh no," Una said. "Don't tell me. When did they say it stopped working?" 11 years ago, right after the first successful test." Quinn nodded slowly. "And in all their documentation, all their meticulous testing and replacement and recalibration," he pulled up a timeline on his datapad. "Did they ever actually turn it off?" Una blinked, then blinked again. She dove back into the logs, her fingers flying across the holographic interface. No, they didn't. They've had it on standby for a decade. They were afraid that a full shutdown might reset some crucial parameter they hadn't identified yet. "Classic mistake," Quinn said, standing up. "We see it all the time with human tech. Something gets stuck in a weird state, and the longer you leave it running, the weirder it gets." Tharxis approached them with careful steps. "You have discovered something?" "Maybe," Quinn said. "Question: have you tried turning it off and on again?" The chamber fell silent. Every Velcor engineer turned to stare at them. Tharxis's translator seemed to struggle with the concept. Turning off? But the initialization sequence alone takes 3 days. The quantum field matrices must be carefully aligned. The gravitational harmonics perfectly balanced. Right, but have you tried it? The risk of losing residual data, of corrupting the quantum memory storage, Is pretty minimal if it's not working anyway, Una interjected, feeling a surge of confidence. What do you have to lose? The debate that followed lasted another 4 hours. The Velcor engineers presented 17 different reasons why a full shutdown was dangerous, impractical, or fundamentally misguided. Quinn countered each with the patient explanation that sometimes complex systems developed cascading errors that could only be cleared by a complete reset. In the end, it was desperation that won the argument. 10 years of failure had worn down even Velcor certainty. The shutdown took 6 hours, systems powering down in carefully orchestrated sequence. The chamber's eternal glow faded to darkness for the first time in over a decade. In the observation room, Una held her breath, suddenly aware of how insane this plan sounded when said out loud. "Initiating startup sequence," Tharxis announced, his voice tight with tension. The chamber hummed to life. Energy conduits lit up one by one, gravitational stabilizers spinning into alignment. The quantum field generators pulsed with a rhythm that Una could feel in her bones. Higher and higher the energy climbed, past levels the Velcor had been unable to reach for years. And then, with a sound like reality itself sighing in relief, the quantum resonance chamber stabilized. Readings poured across every monitor, all green, all perfect, all exactly as they should be. "It's working," Tharxis whispered, his translator barely keeping up with his emotion. "By the eternal void, it's actually working." The celebration that followed was subdued by Velcor standards, but lasted well into the station's night cycle. Una found Quinn on an observation deck, staring out at the stars. "You know they're going to ask us to explain the theoretical basis for why that worked," she said. Quinn shrugged. "Something about quantum state persistence and accumulated error cascades, probably. I'll let the scientists figure out the details. You don't care about the glory? I care about things working." He grinned at her. "Besides, how often do you get to fix a 10-year problem in 6 hours? Una laughed, a sound that felt good after the tension of the day. Out there in the galaxy, humanity was still the newcomer, the primitive species with crude technology and simple solutions. But sometimes, she thought, simple was exactly what you needed. Sometimes the most sophisticated answer was just turning it off and on again. Behind them, the quantum resonance chamber hummed with perfect stability, ready at last to revolutionize faster-than-light travel. And somewhere in the station's records, a simple note in human standard: problem resolved. Full system restart performed. See? Told you so. Told.